In this video, I'm going to share with you the strategies and tactics that will help you grow your countertop business a lot faster. Now, I know that no two shops are the same, and those of you that are watching this are going to be in different stages of business. But what I'm going to look to do is break these strategies down in a way that'll be applicable for the majority of situations. I'm Justin Shaw, founder of Driven for Growth. Let's go ahead and get into it. So after working with countertop companies for the last 7+ years, these are some of the common situations that I find shops to be in. First, they've hit a plateau. They've been stuck at the same level for several years, unable to break through to that next level of growth, or they're on a roller coaster. I've got some strong months and then others where they've fallen short of their sales targets. And it's just this constant, one step forward, two steps back kind of situation, which is really demotivating, right? The other thing that they often share is they're really unsure of the strategies to effectively drive growth. They're looking at others and wondering why, at least from the outside, they seem to have effortless success and growth while it's so hard for them. And then the other thing that I find is that a lot of shops will try something for a little while, not go very deep with it, whether that's an investment of time, money, or energy, and they don't stay consistent enough. When they don't get the results that they wanted, they're going to stop and say it didn't work for them. Keep that in mind as I share these strategies with you in a moment. But the other big pitfall I want you to avoid when we're looking to drive growth is putting the cart before the horse. And what I mean by that is having a build it and they will come approach, meaning you're looking to drive growth in your business by ramping up production capacity without the proven ability to fill it through marketing, advertising, or business development. All right, so that is really critical. You want to make sure that you've got the proven ability to influence customer acquisition and maintain that consistently before you go invest in a new CNC, before you go invest in, another tool to help create more efficiency and speed in the business. If you have the luxury to do that, because you've got a lot of cash reserve, cash on hand that you can put towards that, okay. But if not, don't do that as the place to start. You're going to want to start with acquisition. Okay, so we've covered some of the things I'd like you to consider and also to try and avoid when you're driving for growth in your countertop shop. But I also want to take a moment to share with you 2 quick rules to the game ahead of sharing with you the 3-step playbook to drive growth in your countertop business faster. Rule number 1, and these go hand in hand, is to have deep focus. Rule number 2 is to be patient. So the reason they go hand in hand is very often people will not invest enough time into allowing the strategies that they're executing to deliver the results that they want. So they jump ship and look at the next shiny object that's promising to give them the results that they want. So you've got to have deep focus, avoid distraction, and invest the necessary time, energy, focus, and money in order to reap the rewards. Because I'll tell you this, every channel is effective when done properly. So whether that's Google pay-per-click, Meta with Facebook and Instagram ads, on the B2B side of things, cold email, cold calling, all of these things are effective when done properly. So you've got to identify the right strategy and channel that you're going to commit to, and then give yourself enough time to figure it out. Real quick note, if you want to leverage proven playbooks, then go ahead and book a game plan call below, and we can talk about the right strategies and tactics that are going to help you to move your business forward significantly faster, right? So leverage is always helpful. While you do want to invest a certain amount of time, you don't want to be there spinning your wheels, trying to figure it all out on your own. The other thing that I'll share with you outside of the rules to the game is that although I said you don't want to put the cart before the horse, you don't want to have a blind spot in terms of being able to maintain efficiency, quality, and speed. In the early days when we were working with shops and helping them to grow more quickly, they would often not have the right systems or people in place to support growth when it happened fast. So that's one thing I really want you to keep in mind is while you're executing your growth game plan, be aware of the bottlenecks and constraints that are going to come up when you pour gasoline on the fire, when you start to grow and you grow rapidly, so that you can block and tackle and maintain efficiency and speed. And then once you've proven that you can generate your targeted volume of business consistently, then go ahead and invest in optimizing for your production capacity. All right, so super important. Now, just ahead of getting into the 3-step playbook to help you drive growth more quickly, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because every week I drop a new episode sharing strategies, tactics, and tips to help you grow your business more easily, systemize and scale, and also be able to build a business that you actually love. All right, so go ahead and hit that. And now let's jump into the training. Step 1 in our playbook is to narrow your focus. And what I mean by that is often what happens is shops want to grow. They want all the business. And while that's a fair point or fair desire to have, in order to have effective customer acquisition, whether that's through marketing, advertising, new business development, in order to scale fast, you want to narrow your focus to one segment of the market that you're going to look to own. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to look at one segment of the market, identify who is the ideal customer profile in that segment of the market, what's our unique value proposition that we're offering this ideal customer, and how do we serve them better than anybody else? Hands down, without a doubt, when compared, we have a clear advantage, a clear benefit to the customer as to why they would choose us over anyone else. So you really want to get clarity on that. Get clarity on that, narrow your focus, because it's going to fuel everything else. All right, so that goes right into step 2. Step 2 is that we need to have a predictable customer acquisition mechanism, meaning that we want to have our one target ICP, and then we're going to be looking to reach this target ICP through one paid channel. Otherwise, it's very hard to have control. Now, if we're talking about B2B and not retail, then you're likely not doing paid, at least not to start with. You're going to be doing something like cold email, cold calling, going and knocking on doors, for example, to meet with builders, contractors, estimators, etc., which is a little bit different. But right now, I'm going to focus on retail and having one paid channel. All right. So in order to have control, we've got to be able to reach our target audience. And so we need one paid channel to do that. Then the next thing we have to have is a differentiator and an offer that we're putting into the marketplace. All right. So to tie that together, to have a predictable customer acquisition mechanism, we've got our one segment of the audience. We're able to reach them through one paid channel, and we're putting our positioning into the marketplace as well as one offer that we're going to put into the marketplace. Now, the objective here is really to dial this channel and our positioning in. So it's really important that we commit to just one channel. You don't dilute across too many channels when you haven't figured out the first one. All right. So once you've got a channel that's predictable and consistent, you still don't jump to a second channel. What you want to then do is scale it to the moon, meaning you reinvest a percentage of your profits from your campaigns and continue to scale it until you've maxed it out. Once you've maxed it out, then add a second channel. Okay, that's really important. All right, step 3 in our playbook is to monitor and scale. I'm going to talk about what not to do before I talk about what to do. What not to do is to be hands off. Many shops will pull the trigger, make the decision to invest in their marketing, advertising, or new business development, and then they're just not tracking on what's working, what's not working, and what to do about it. And they'll let campaigns run, they'll hire a marketing company, let campaigns run, or they'll do it themselves. And you're essentially just burning through your money. You're throwing money out the window, right? You really want to track your efforts closely to then be able to dial in, figure it out. What is working to predictably acquire customers? And once you've got that in place, because you've been paying attention, monitoring things, making adjustments, then you can focus on scaling. The thing to avoid is shops will not scale their budgets up when something's working. They'll start off with a $5,000 budget and they'll spend the same amount year after year, but wanting a higher volume of leads and opportunities. So it's really important to track, monitor, and then scale once you've got it figured out. So too often, again, ad budgets stay the same. And what you want to do, the really successful shops and the ones that you see when they're saying we're spending $50K a month on Google and Facebook ads, it's because they've reinvested a percentage of their profits from their ad campaigns into being able to capture and own more of the market. Marketing is a competition for attention, Seth Godin said. And if you are not reinvesting in your ability to own more of that attention and win more of that attention, then you're going to stay at the same level. So it's really important to reinvest a percentage of your profits into your ad campaigns so you can scale successfully. But you can't do that if you're not monitoring what's working. All right. So that's really important. Now, if you're focused on B2B, the same thing applies, but not in terms of ad budget. I mean, you can run paid ads to B2B, but most will probably start with cold email, cold calling. And so scaling looks like repeating successful actions to ramp up volume. So for example, if you have been successful in landing more builders, contractors, getting more bids, etc., from doing 10 calls a day or 100 emails a week, scale. Scale successful actions until you've maxed out. All right, so that's really important. In order to really take our businesses to the next level and scale more quickly, we've got to repeat successful actions and reinvest into our efforts. A quick recap of those 3 steps. Number 1, to narrow your focus on one segment of the audience and own it. Number 2, is that you're going to build a predictable customer acquisition mechanism through picking one channel, differentiate to that market with the way that you serve them better than anybody else, and have one offer that you're putting into the marketplace that you can scale to the moon. Then last but not least is to monitor and scale. Do not stay at the same place or your business will stay at the same place. You've got to reinvest and scale things up to the next level. All right, that's it for me. That's a wrap on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to talk to myself or my team, you can go ahead and book a growth game plan call below. We'll have a no-fluff conversation about how you can take your business to the next level and the best strategies for you to succeed. All right, guys, appreciate your time. And until then, be driven for growth.